The other major update that has been introduced in this release is a rethink of the user interface for the absolute core part of why people work with CloudOlive. And what we try to do here is the same data displayed in a much more uniform and easy and logical way that new and existing users can make sense of what the next required steps are. So the mapping section here, these columns actually haven't moved except for the action column, which used to be on the very right-hand side, is now in here. The unit counts, so change versus prior period, current count from the vendor, PSA count, CRM unit count. And then the main driver of this module really is, hey, I want to see what's off. Show me where I'm underbilling. So you can still sort by that once, sort by that twice, the same outcomes achieved. Nothing from that perspective, the usability, none of that has actually changed. We've just looked to make this a much more simple and effective way that you can make sense of the information. And then last but not least, all of the cost, revenue, and margin, et cetera, towards the right. The vendor unit cost versus CRM cost now lives on the right-hand side, and you can still use these toggles to isolate down the relevant information, show me where these two things do not match, optionally push it back. In terms of the color coding, so now you will notice the gold box here. Oh, I've got two unreconciled lines. I will go to the gold boxes below and take the relevant action on that. So unreconciled lines means that this column here has some blank. We've got a vendor service. We don't have anything in the CRM service. The next action you take, again, within that gold icon or color coding, we edit that, we can find the company. So a few changes that have occurred here. This is now sorted from A to Z, much more, like we should have done that a while ago, but here it is now. You can of course search for these things as per normal, Black Rooster. In this box now, you can also search for, so if you know the name of the contract that you're going to be billing against, you can also now search for it here and more quickly find that information. And then the same, map the service and then submit. So the other benefit of that is there was too much time required to come all the way to the action edit, come back up into the mapping of the accounts. Now you will notice it's right next to one another. So if you're doing this on a frequent basis, this should save a considerable amount of time, just bringing it all into one place. Remove the amount of travel that you're having to take in order to do these things. Some more smaller updates here, but also really important. We've looked to use icons here to make it more rememberable in terms of what's actually underneath it, rather than just being a blank toggle. So you'll notice here that the pass for now, come back next month, then would just be hidden underneath here, or you hide something indefinitely. Again, the same icon now lives behind here. The major one that we want to work with in general would be the show all discrepancies. You got your comments, and then over here is show me just the numbers. Potentially there's a vendor that you don't run costs against it. It's just a unit count comparison and fix. You can always use that there. And extending that out. So if we're looking at vendors now that have no costs associated with it, so we really only care about the numbers lining up. If this field is listed as 0, meaning we're not going to import any costs, when we actually click in and begin reconciling that vendor, this toggle is going to be on by default, meaning all of the monetary information that we talked about a second ago is automatically hidden, because what we really care about is I want to understand where the discrepancies are across the unit count. So we're buying this, we're selling this, we need to update the CRM to reflect that.